Hey everyone. Yeah, you see the title down below. Oh, as well as you read the description box, and it. Sorry for any lag. Do apologize for that. But like I said, you read the description box, and you read the title. You pretty much see exactly what this is about. IDW has come out recently, and according to Entertainment Weekly and some other sites have released the solicits and the covers for the first 3 to 4 issues under the ID of the Sonic the Hedgehog comic under the IDW banner. That's right. They have released these under the IDW banner, and quite frankly, if I can bring those up real quickly, hopefully with no interruption. So, and so I'm looking at CBR.com, and just like with Archie, they're going to have 2 covers, a B and A cover, or Viant cover, if you will. So the first cover has Sonic, Tails, and Amy on it, and that's a cover by Tyson Hees. You've heard of him with the Archie one, and that's for the cover I'm looking at for issue 2. The other cover has Sonic and Amy confront and Tail, well, Sonic and Amy confronting some egg bots, it looks like, in a village, and some big spider bot looming over them. Now, the biggest difference about the one of the biggest difference about the comic is Sonic the Hedgehog is similar. The title, the Sonic the Hedgehog title itself, is similar to what you had on the Archie one, and so that's kind of cool there. And you have Ian Flynn writing. You have Adam Bryce Thomas on there as well. And that's really about it from what I could see from CBR. I'm trying to get a little bit more information here. The things up here. Okay, TSSD has has some information, but it's not much. So we'll look in the news. Okay, here we are. Solicits for IDW Sonic 1 to 4 released. This is what they say. According to TSSD, they published this yesterday. TSSD. This is what they say, and this was reported by SSF 1991 or SSF 1991. This is what they say, and I quote: "They're here. We can finally share the full solicits for all 4 April issues of the new IDW Sonic comics. Image-wise, there is nothing new that we haven't already shared. However, all the new info comes from the plot summaries and more." It says all new info. Okay, comes from the plot summaries and more. Many more Archie Sonic artists have been confirmed to be returning. Now, this is what they say. For Sonic 1, because they're going to have 2 covers each for all of them, you got Gem of the Month. So that's just, I guess that's the story arc for the first 4 issues. Or for the month of April, for the 4-issue run in April. You have Sonic's racing into a new adventure. After defeating the evil Dr. Eggman's latest plot, Sonic is racing around the world to shut down the robotic badnik forces that are still attacking villages. But it's a big job for one Hedgehog, even Sonic. Fortunately, he'll have some help from his friend Tails. So you'll get Tails in the first issue. Sonic number 2, which is also that month, which is, I think, the second week. Sonic's new adventure continues. And this is the solicits for issue 2. Sonic's new adventure continues, and when he comes across another town in need of saving, his old pal Amy arrives just in time to join the fight. The banter is fun and the stakes are high, but things get really serious when Amy presents Sonic with a big request. Rejoin the Resistance. Could be interesting. The number 3, the solicits for number 3 are Sonic and Knuckles team up, and it's just like old times until 2 new villains show up. With a group of villagers under attack, will even the combined forces of these 2 heroes be enough, I should say, to take down Rough and Tumble? So there's 2 new villains right there called Rough and Tumble. And that's for number 3. Number 4. Sonic comes across the town under attack from the biggest badnik force he's ever seen. Luckily, help is on the way from his... Okay, let me rephrase that. Let me get some coffee as well. It says, Sonic... This is the solicit for Sonic number 4. Sonic comes across a town under attack from the biggest badnik force he's ever seen. Luckily, help is on the way from his old friend Blaze. So you get Blaze in the 4th one, as well as a new hero. Get ready for the debut of Tangle, or Tangle the Lemieux. Leamur. So, yeah, we get a new character in the 4th and final issue of the Gem of the month-long arc. Introduction of Sonic to the IDW verse. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, it's Tangle the Lemieux. L-M-U-R, not L-E-A-M-U-R. It's Tangle the Lemieux. L-E-M-U-R. And she is female. Yes, she is. She is female. She looks pretty cool. I will admit that. And she looks all right. But this is the information that SSF 1991 or SSF 1991 brought to us back yesterday. This is what they said, and I quote, IGN has exclusively revealed the character that IDW has been teasing for a week now. It's a brand new character, Tangle the Lemure. There were some interesting remarks from IDW's David Miret. We also got to see the cover for Sonic number 4, which features Tangle and the return of Blaze. And I guess these are the remarks by David Miret. He says, and I quote, this is from David Miret, after over 300 issues at Archie Comics, well, technically not really, but I guess if you count Universe and the Knuckles spin-offs and all that, then I would assume that's true. Like I said, if you count the Universe spin-off, the Knuckles comics and all that, so yeah, I guess that would be true. After over 300 issues at Archie Comics, IDW Publishing acquired the rights to make Sonic comics from Sega in 2017 and are rebooting the series with a fresh new #1. Starting over from scratch gives IDW and series writer Ian Flynn the chance to shake things up and add new things to Sonic's world, and Tangle is one of them. Before she even had a name, we knew we wanted her to be a lot like Before she even had a name, we knew we wanted her to be like a lot of other great Sonic characters and have a special ability tied to one of her features. Think Tails or Knuckles. IDW, now he goes on to say in an email interview, this is David Minnette telling IGN, so we were brainstorming animals who could do cool stuff, and a ring-tailed lemur who could use her tail alternatively like a whip or like a fist was too cool to pass up. Throw in her scrappiness, she likes to tangle with bad guys, and you have an awesome character. As for whether Tangle will appear in any video games, Marinette, he couldn't say, but he does say that's a decision that lies exclusively with Sega. And I will admit she looks pretty good. I'm not going to sit here and bash the character. Hold on for a sec while I do something. Now, like I said, I'm not going to sit here and bash the character at all because I don't think, in a sense, I don't think she's the kind of character that's going to replace any established character should they bring them in. Um, honestly, honestly, I think I think honestly, she's just going to be a new character. I know a lot of people may be like, well, where's Sally? Where's Bunnie and all them? And it's like I've said before, and I'll say again. I think honestly, Tangle being here is more along the lines of, the IDW wants to introduce a new character to the equation. So, and what it is I think, again, like I said, I think IDW wants to introduce a new character to the equation. So it's more along the lines of, let me see what this is going to be filed under. Hold on. Okay. So they're gonna, and basically by introducing a new character, they also want to establish that this is going to be a reboot. It's not soft or anything. It's not soft reboot or anything like that. It's more along the lines of it's going to be a reboot that's going to be completely, as he said it right there, completely fresh. It's going to allow, what it's going to do, apparently, from what he has said, is it's going to allow Ian Flynn to, it's going to allow Ian Flynn to be able to not mess, but kind of come up with some more ideas that could be really expanded on as long as the comic continues on. And by introducing a new character like Tango the Lemur into it, Lemmy, or whatever it's called, Tango the Lemmy, or Lemur. Yeah, Lemur, that's what it is. No, I'm always saying Lemieux or something like that, but Lemur, that I think honestly, Tango coming in is going to be beneficial because I don't think she's going to replace Sally. Sally, I definitely believe, is going to be in this comic. She's going to make an appearance. She's going to appear more so than just once or twice. Sally will be in it. So will Antoine. So will Bunnie. So will Rotor. So will Dulcy. All these characters that we worry about, even Lupe, um, all these characters we worry about, they're going to be in the comic eventually. Right now, what they're trying to do is establish a world, and that's in context. It's a hybrid of what the established Archie fans, the established fans of the comic. Hold on for a sec. Hold on for a second, bud. I don't know what my dog wants to. Come on. Sorry about that. Sorry about that interruption. My dog had to be let out to go use the restroom. Uh, but yeah, I don't think Tangled Lemieux is going to replace him at all. Replace Sally or any of them at all. Because again, like I said, I think she's gonna be. I think she's just to establish the fact that this is a new comic, this is a new start, and that you need to at least establish some characters you can create on your own. And in case you guys don't know what she looks like, this is kind of cut. Well, I don't know if it's cut her off too much. Well, it's cut her off a little bit at the legs, but this is what she looks like right here. This is Tangle right there. I don't know if you can see that. But this is Tangle right here. This is who she is. So, um, again, I don't think she's going to be a character. And this is actually one of the covers from issue 4, and you can see that Blaze is on there. But again, I don't think she's going to be there to replace any established characters. I really don't. I think if anything, she's going. Like I said, I think she's basically there to establish the fact that this is a new comic. Another thing about this 4-issue run in April is the fact that it's the story arc is supposed to take place after Sonic Forces, so it's supposed to stay in canon. So what that means by staying in canon with Sonic Forces, which by the way, there's going to be a free or forever free Supersonic DLC for it, so that's pretty cool. But by staying in canon with this, pretty much tells me that the comic is going to be a hybrid of original and game related stories. Now, I know some people might say, well, didn't they say it wouldn't be like that? It wouldn't be adaptations of games? Yeah, they did say that, but they did indicate that it would be more original stories and game adaptations. But if you're going to attract a new audience to your comic that you want to attract, then the best way to do that is to do a story that's basically video game based, and especially based on the more recent video game that's kind of gotten a mixed but mixed reaction, with one of the only positive feedbacks that it got is the character created Asian that it added in. So to me, when I look at a new character like Tangle coming into into the world, being introduced as an exclusive, as of right now, an IDW exclusive character for the book, then I can understand, like I said, why they did that. They want to establish that you're going to get new characters that are going to be exclusive to the IDW Sonic comic, just like you did with the Archie one. But that doesn't mean, and I know I sound like I'm repeating myself here, that doesn't mean you're not going to have characters like Bunnie Rabbot, Sally Acorn, Rotor, Antoine, Dulcy, Lupe make an appearance and be established as supporting characters or mid-major characters down the line. You will. You got to remember, IDW is using the month of April to pretty much uh, establish the world of Sonic as far as they're concerned. Establish them in the world of IDW. You know, give you that give longtime comic book readers of the Archie run something to wet their whistle. In other words, give them something familiar. That's why you got Tangle being introduced in issue 4, but also give them something new. Bit of a mixed pot hybrid kind of situation. And like I said, I don't think this is going to harm or hurt anything, because when I look at the possibility that, you know, Ian over the past several months had even teased at the fact that we could get the Freedom Fighters down the line, I look at the fact that despite the differences me and him have had, despite our differences, um, I look at the fact, and again, this is just speculation, but I feel that what's going to happen as we go further on and the comic becomes more of a monthly, if not bi-monthly release by IDW, mostly a monthly release, that sooner or later we're going to get those characters. It may not be right after the 4 issues in April, but it'll definitely be possibly around, I would assume, and this is mere assumption and speculation, but I would assume we would get them at least towards the summer, maybe in the fall of this year. Because if you're going to if you're going to try to bring in that familiar audience and give them a fresh take on the world of Sonic through your publisher's eyes, then you also want to give them characters and scenarios that they'll be familiar with. And I think that's where Sally and Bunnie and all of them is going to come into play. I really do. Like I said, I don't think we've seen the last of them. I don't think we've seen the end of them. I think they will be coming. It's just going to take time. Right now, what Ian Flynn, Chris Ryall, and IDW want to do is they want to focus on establishing the world first. And by using a character like Tangle, the lemur, I believe that's the animal she represents name is, that they wanted, you know, by doing this in April, they want to, like I said, establish the world, as well as basically, like I said, give that familiarity to longtime fans along with some new stuff, along with some, hey, you know, here's some newer stuff that you might like as well. And the way that they explain Tangle definitely gives me does give me the vibe of a character that you would have seen exclusive to the Archie book. I really do. It definitely gave me that. It definitely gives me that vibe that she is a character that had the book continued on, had Sonic continued on under the Archie license, that she would have been a character that would have been included in the Archie verse almost immediately around the time, almost immediately when they started to do the new adventure kind of thing. And I'll get to that in a moment. I'll be right back. I had to let my dog in. For some reason, she likes to roll around the grass. I think all dogs do. But yeah, that honestly, just to try to get to the point here, um, I don't. I just don't think the freedom fighters are going to be gone. I think they'll be back. It's just that with Tangle being introduced, it's IDW and Ian Flynn and Chris Ayel's way of saying, "Hey, this is a character that's going to represent the newness, the refreshness, the start over from scratch, new beginning kind of feel." But that doesn't mean you're not going to get characters you're already familiar with. And that's pretty much why she's at the beginning. She's at the she's at the beginning of the well, not at the very beginning, but she's basically, part of the first major story to establish Sonic as an IDW comic property, that she she's there for to give, like I said, established readers like myself some familiarity to a character that, again, like I said before I let my dog in, that in my opinion, without a shadow of a doubt, had the book still continued on under the Archie Comics license, probably would have premiered there. In fact, I wouldn't put it past Ian Flynn or anybody involved that that's probably what they wanted to do. Introduce a character like her while they were still under the Archie run. I mean, you take a look at 292, I believe, was supposed to be the start of the solo adventures and basically the Freedom Fighter arc that we were going to get in Sonic Universe. Well, pretty much, I think a character like Tangle would have been part of that story arc down the line. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think without a shadow of a doubt, there's no. I think that she would have been part of it, and she would have become an established character. So I think all Tangled the Limmer represents is what we're going to get as far as IDW goes. Like, you're going to get that familiarity that you got with the Archie run when you got these Archie exclusive characters and the Sally characters, and that's what Tangle represents. But you're also going to get something new. And you also, that even though she has that familiarity to her, she also represents the newness. I know that kind of sounds confusing, so I do apologize. And I do apologize if I'm repeating and rambling, so just bear with me here. But yeah, I don't see her being, like the new Sally or anything like that. I think she's going to mainly be there to be an established character, be well, not established character, but basically be a character that represents the IDW exclusiveness. Like, she could be a counterpart to Sally, or she could become a BFF to Sally if they bring Sally in, and I believe they will. You know, she's not like Styx in a sense. Styx was a game character, of course, so we can't argue that, but Styx is only exclusive to the Boom verse of Sonic, to the Boom world of Sonic, and nothing else. She's not in the main Sonic games or anything. She only crossed over into the main Sonic comic because of that Sonic Mega Man sequel crossover that they did under the Archie license. So Tangle, in my opinion, is a character that is going to be. I don't know if she's going to be around Sonic a lot or what's going to happen, but I think she's going to be the kind of character that's going to be like almost the Sticks of. It's going to be somewhat like the Sticks of the IDW comic, but not totally like crazy or superstitious or anything, but someone that's very like I'm ready to fight kind of deal. So she may play the role of a character that yeah she's scrappy and she could fight, but she needs training. That's probably the role they'll give her. But yeah, the first few issues, the first few solicits for the comic sound great. The only issue cover preview that's missing is threes. You get Sonic and Amy on issue 2. You get Sonic and Tails on issue 1. Issue 3 is missing right now, so we don't know what's going on there. But again, this is primarily to establish this new, fresh beginning for Sonic as far as comics go. But that doesn't mean they're not going to bring back familiar faces and established characters and make them reestablish them again in some kind of capacity. You take a look at Nickelodeon when they did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles recently. The recent incarnation. That was an incarnation of a lot of worlds. That was an incarnation that was a mixture of a lot of turtles, a lot of turtle franchises. But they did reimagining of the characters. Or they brought in characters, reimagined them, whatever, but they brought them in. They still knew fans wanted to see them in some capacity, and they brought them in, and fans were happy about it. One of the characters that fans were always clamoring for was Mona Lisa. And pretty much they were willing to accept that, okay, this is a new Turtles cartoon, and if they bring her in, they'll bring her in a different way. And they did, but they kept the relationship she had with Raphael, or she began with Raphael in the original cartoon back in the early 90s, in season 4, I believe. They kept that, but they built upon it. They created it and they built upon it in a different way, like in a similar, if not different way. And they continued that on even when she made an appearance in a more recent season. So, you take something like that as an example, and then you take introducing established characters like Mondo Gecko and the way they represented him, the mutant animals, all these established characters from the original cartoon run, the original comic run, the Archie comic run. And you kind of get the idea of exactly what you might get, or what IDW may do as far as already established characters of the Sonic franchise, from the cartoons that Sonic's had to most recently the Archie comic run. You can pretty much imagine that IDW knows this. Chris Rael knows this. Ian Flynn knows this. They know that they got to bring in these characters because fans are going to expect them sooner or later. Because here's what could happen. Here's what could happen. Here's what could happen. The comic itself may become a huge hit no matter what. It's Sonic. It's Sonic the Hedgehog. It'll be a huge hit no matter what. But here's what could happen. If they keep delaying not bringing in these established characters, sooner or later, longtime fans that stick by Sonic, and even the newer fans that stick by Sonic that loved became fascinated with these established SatAM characters, Archie characters. The longer they delay bringing them in, the more fans may become edgy about it. They may become more passive aggressive. They may become more inclined not to read or support the IDW Sonic anymore, because you're not bringing in characters that they're established with. You're not bringing them in some capacity or form. And that's what fans would hope for. That's what fans would want to see. They'd want to see these characters brought in some shape or form, and maybe established as supporting characters, maybe mid-major characters as the comic rolls along. Because if IDW, Chris Rael and Ian Flynn and David Marinette and David Bryce or whoever's in charge doesn't come out and do that, then fans sooner or later, new and old, may not want to support the comic. I mean, you'll still have a bunch of people supporting it, no doubt about it. But if they don't bring in these established characters in some way, then the comic may not be as big of a hit as they would hope for. I mean, it'll be a big hit when it starts out, no doubt. It will sell tremendously, but it won't be that big of a hit down the line if you don't bring in some familiarity. And I think honestly, that's what they need to do. They need to start bringing it. They need to start considering bringing these characters in sooner or later. And that's why I predict, and it's my assumption, my opinion, that by the summer, maybe by the fall, maybe the latest at the winter, maybe the latest being the winter or even 2019, the beginning of 2019, is when we'll probably get the characters. It's probably when they'll show up. They'll show up little by little, in my opinion. They'll probably show up here and there, but they're going to appear. They have to bring them in because fans want to see them. They want to see how they'll be incorporated into this new IDW verse over what they had with the Archie verse. And like I said, IDW does the freaking Ninja Turtles. They freaking did a publication adaptation of the Nickelodeon series. So I think those at IDW, and Ian Flynn worked on that as well. Ian Flynn worked on the IDW adaptation of the Ninja Turtle series on Nickelodeon. So I think Ian Flynn understands, and those involved should understand, that what they did there is they got to do here. They got to bring these characters in no matter what. And they know that. When and where it will happen, again, my assumption, my belief is it's going to be right after they establish the world with these 4 issues in April. It's going to be around either the summer, the fall, possibly the winter, maybe even the start of 2019, but they will be coming. How they bring them in is totally up to them. You can have the Freedom Fighters brought in as new members of the Resistance. Like, this would be Sonic's first time meeting them, and maybe you'd want to do that Sonic-Sally relationship by having Sonic see Sally for the first time and go like, whoa, and then find out her background, find out that her and basically establish her background as being a princess that lost her land, lost her family, Emily, because of Eggman. You can even go the route of, her, she lost her mother because of Eggman, and her father disappeared while trying to battle Eggman and stuff like that. You can still go those routes. You still can go those routes. And I think a lot of people would appreciate it. I really do. So, in my opinion, you want to bring them in as part of the new Resistance, whether Sonic's part of the Resistance or not, which I'm pretty sure he will be. He'll end up being anyway. I think it'll work because, like I said, you reintroduce the characters, you bring them in a way that, fans would probably expect to see them brought in, and you go from there. You build the relationships between all the characters. There you go. And then sooner or later, or as time goes on, you could try to reestablish certain relationships and stuff between characters, and off to the races you go. But again, as far as getting back to what I talk about here, the first 4 issues for April, the story arc Gem of the Month sounds intriguing. It sounds good. Tangle, again, she gives me that familiarity that I got with the Archie, with characters like Sally and Rotor and Bunnie and all them, and even Nicole. I don't want to leave her out because she has a special ability, and although she's an IDW established character, or exclusive character, she has that familiarity that we're used to seeing in and everything. So with the other characters, like we became accustomed to Sally now having ring blades, or ring wrists that became blades and all that, or whatever she needed. We became accustomed to Bunnie's new background about how she became roboticized, partially roboticized, and kind of having a brother sister relationship with Tails. So we became accustomed to all that. And in my opinion, Tango kind of gives me that vibration, kind of gives me that feel that we've had before with those characters. And I think whether or not she's going to be an ongoing character, which it sounds like she may be, I think she'll be an all right character. And again, I believe that if down the line they bring Sally in, they bring Bunnie in, they bring Rotor and Antoine, I think she'll become good friends with them. I think they may even establish, in my opinion, a BFF relationship with both her, Bunnie, and Sally, Allie, as well as maybe even Amy. So I could see that happening. So you can have a foursome of female characters right there. So I expect several things to probably go down the line. And again, this is coming. And again, you have to understand what I'm trying to say is you have to understand that this is coming from a longtime Sonic fan of the past 27 years, ever since Sonic was introduced by Sega as a video game and as a rival mascot to Mario of Nintendo, and even mostly up to the comic and the SatAM cartoon, which, by the way, in case you guys don't know, the SatAM cartoon celebrates 25 years this year. So, in case you guys don't know about that, there you go. And by the way, you can catch the cartoon on Stars on Demand right now. I think it even gets aired on Stars on occasions during the weekdays. But check it out. Check it out. It's on Stars Encore for family or whatever. It's on there. Check it out. All the episodes are there. I think you'll like it. And yeah, it's been on there since I think August of 2016. So it's been on there for the past year or so. So check it out if it's still up and everything. I think it is. You'll really like it, and I think that's going to be that there. Now that I mentioned, I think that's going to be beneficial to how things again will be presented in the comics. So, but yeah, 25 years for SatAM, that is huge, and that'll be celebrated this year going into the fall as well. But again, getting back to what I was saying, I think Sonic's going to do good under the IDW license. You have the potential of several crossovers with other IDW licensed books and even established original books publications. So we'll have to wait and see what they do. But because first they got to establish the world. That's what they're going to do in April, and they're going to, as well as introduce some original characters that'll be exclusive to the comic, like with Tangle, as well as possibly and most likely bring back established characters down the line. So really, I think overall IDW's got a good uh, opportunity here with Sonic. Like I said, as far as characters we know about, we want to hopefully see. I think they're going to bring them in, but they're going to bring them in a way that's a little bit more different than what we're used to. I think one of the more likely scenarios is when Sonic does join the Resistance, which I think possibly he will, not to give anything away, because I don't know whether or not they're going to have him do it. Is that's how he is, that is how they introduce the freedom fighters into the IDW world, that they as well become new members of the Resistance, and like I say, you can go from there and start to slowly reestablish relationships and stuff. We want to go in that direction. So yeah, overall, the sound pretty good. Gem of the Month sounds like a good starting arc. And if you are familiar with the Sonic comic, it's basically, Archie Comics did the same thing when they started the Sonic comic. They did about a 3 to 4 issue miniseries to kind of establish the world and the characters. And that's the vibe I'm getting with IDW's Gem of the Month arcs. So so overall, I'm probably going to check it out when it comes out and see what it's like. I definitely expect Mega Beatman of True Blue Reviews, Matt, if you will, to do a review on it. And I expect Tails Channel to do the same thing. So really, that's all I'm going to say on it, folks. But yeah, we finally do have some information, do have some cover art and everything of what the comics will look, of what the covers for the first 4 issues in April are going to look like, and what the story is going to be about, and as well as getting a new character that's going to be an IDW exclusive character that does give us that familiarity of characters that would have been Archie exclusive or SatAM exclusive or what have you with Tangle. So that's really all I'm going to say about it, folks. Let me know what you guys think down below. In fact, let me fact, I don't know if it's here or not. Matter of fact, let me check. I guess not. But I'll check my other thing. Hold on for a sec. But yeah, but yeah, I definitely see. But yeah, like I said, I definitely see. I didn't even show it here. Oh, there it is. No one's saying anything yet, but maybe they will later. But yeah, I just get that familiarity with them. So, with Tango as far as characters go. So overall, though, I really. So overall, like I said, I think they got something good here. Again, as far as characters established characters that we know about from previous incarnations of Sonic, the comics mostly, and all that. I think I believe they are gonna be brought in, but they're gonna be brought in a way that's different. Like I said, and I know if I'm repeating myself, I do apologize. I know that. I mean, I believe honestly that they're going to be brought in as new members of the Resistance. Sonic and Sally are going to meet that way, and they're going to go from there. I truly do. I think that might be one of the more legit reasons or ways they go. They might even have Sonic not join the Resistance and continue his globe-trotting ways. That way makes it easier for him to connect with these characters And then, that way, even if they don't show up another few issues, at least they're in the comic. So, like, he could go on an adventure he could continue doing his globe trotting. He can end up in one world, one land, or one place, and that's where he meets Bunnie. He can end up in another, that's where he meets Antoine. Ends up in another, that's where he meets Sally. Ends up in another, that's where he meets Rotor. Get the idea. So on and so forth. So I think one of those ways is probably going to be the way he meets them or gets reintroduced to them. Maybe we might find, maybe knowing how the, well, not knowing, but kind of guessing on how the Ian Flynn or could put this together. Maybe, he meets up with them and they have a history, and maybe it kind of establishes, and maybe by meeting up with them in these different areas, that it shows that, hey, they have a history. Maybe Sonic does know who they are, and he grew up with them, and they have this past history and all that, or for you get the idea, like with Sally and him, a little bit of romantic tension, or seeing a little bit of flirtatiousness with him and Bunnie, stuff like that. So maybe a little bit of joking around with him and Antoine, and maybe establish some kind of BF kind of deal with him and Rotor. So stuff like that could probably happen as well. So, and so they could do that as well. They could have him still globetrot around the world, and that's how he meets them. But I think, but I believe one of the more logical ways they're going to go is have them brought in as members of the Resistance. You start the connection there. Off to the races you go. Heck, you can even establish that they already know each other, much to the surprise of, let's say, Amy and Tangle and Tails and all them. It'll be like, how do you know them? And Sonic can say, I grew up with them, and there you go. So yeah, they can end up doing that as well. Because like I said, if one of the comics that IDW licensed and adapted from something was the Ninja Turtle Adventures, which was basically their adaptation of the recent Nickelodeon series, knowing that what they did by bringing in characters by bringing in established characters that fans wanted to see and were hoping to see, but in new, different ways, I think they're going to take a page out. I think Ian Flynn, who works on that book, is going to take a page out of that and bring it over to the IDW book. So, or the IDW Sonic book. So, but really, that's all I'm going to say on it, folks. I think right now it sounds like they're going to be off to a great start in April, and we'll just have to wait and see where it goes from there. So let me know what you all think down below in the comment section. I'd like to hear what you have to say about it. In fact, I'll check one more time. Nothing yet. So, yeah. So, yeah, just let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like. I'd like to hear from you guys. Let me know. Thank you all for watching live, and thank you all for watching post-live after it's already been uploaded. Let me know what you all think down below. Comment if you like. I'd like to hear what your thoughts on this are, and I'll talk to you all later. God bless. Take care. Oh, and just before I leave, MJ Knight, if you're watching, I'd like to hear what you have to say. If you want to do a response video to this, MJ, be appreciated. Good night and good day and take care, folks. Talk to y'all later. Sorry about that.